Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, we are going to look at the origins of the Desert Treasure quest. Do note that this video is not a guide for Desert Treasure, or even the lore behind Desert Treasure. It is a video on the backstory to how the assets and story for Desert Treasure came to be, and it's actually a pretty cool tale, so I hope you all enjoy it as much as I did. A former employee of Jagex, known as Mr. Nyarlathotep, recounts the weird backstory on how Desert Treasure ended up being made. He says that in the early days, Jagex had an internship-style placement scheme with various universities in the area. These internships ranged from customer support to developers. Over one summer, 3 interns got a position with the development team, and Jagex, wanting to make sure these interns had a good impression of the company, had the entire art team backing them. This allowed the interns to have a free range of what they wanted to work on, and had an art department to back them. Each intern designed their own quests. One designed Monkey Madness, which Jagex internally did not like whatsoever. The code behind Monkey Madness was a mess that linked into multiple systems, and as a result caused multiple issues and bugs for years. The second intern designed Throne of Miscellanea, which Jagex absolutely loved, mainly because it allowed players to run their own kingdom and receive their own resources. This was something that had never been part of RuneScape before and was totally unique to the game. The third intern is the one who designed the assets for Desert Treasure. Now this intern didn't actually design Desert Treasure himself, and I will explain why later on. As the interns pretty much had free range, this third intern went ahead and started creating a multi-range quest series. However, when he submitted his plans for the quest, 3 major concerns were brought up to Jagex's leadership. The first was that the quest giver was also the final boss. This made it incredibly challenging for players starting the quest to actually start it if another player was in the process of killing the boss NPC. The second major concern was that upon login, the system would check if you had started the quest. If not, the player would automatically be teleported to the quest NPC. It didn't matter if you had the prerequisite skills or not, or even if you were a member. If you had not started the quest, you would be instantly teleported to the quest giver. That's a big red flag right there. The third and final major concern was that there was some serious questionable dialogue choices given to the NPCs. One of the most questionable dialogue choices was that the monks of Zamorak were supposed to shout, Allah Allah Akbar Zamorak, which is probably not something you really want to put in your kid-friendly game. Also, apparently the English was poorly written as well. This last concern was the final straw, and the intern was abruptly terminated. Now remember how the art department was backing the interns? Well, this meant that the final intern had also created some assets that now had no quest to be part of. Mr. Nyarlathotep was tasked to use the terminated intern's assets in a quest of his own. Mr. Nyarlathotep had some ideas in mind. At the time, the combat triangle did not favor mage at all, so Mr. Nyarlathotep decided to make a new quest fixing this and also adding multi-target spells and spells with on-hit effects as the final reward to his new quest, which we now know as Ancient Magics. This explains why there are so many one-and-done NPCs, items, and locations throughout the quest. Mr. Nyarlathotep was given these assets and had to put them to use. The NPC in Drainer Sewer, the Ghost by the Waterfall, the Collect 4 Diamonds. All of these were pre-made assets made by the intern that needed a place to go, and Mr. Nyarlathotep put them to use. That is why there really isn't a story behind Desert Treasure, or any real order to collecting the diamonds. This is because the quest was needed to be made quickly using the already existing assets from the terminated intern. The quest was also released prior to Mr. Nyarlathotep finishing the lore. While finalizing the quest, Mr. Nyarlathotep was cleaning up the story behind Zaros, which wasn't ready when Desert Treasure was released. A few months after the release of Desert Treasure, the mini-quest Curse of the Empty Lord was added to the game, which tidied up the loose ends that were unable to make the final cut of the main Desert Treasure quest. And there you have it, the story behind how one of the most well-known quests was added to RuneScape. From Jagex hiring interns to develop content, to one of those interns not really using their brain, to another developer being tasked to use the fired intern's assets and run with it. That gives us a quest that, as Mr. Nyarlathotep puts it, was out of place, but ended up being a player favorite. Whether you struggle through the quest like myself, or breeze through it, you have to admit it was a stepping stone to your account. You fought off some challenging bosses, ventured a difficult dungeon, and ended up with the best magic combat spellbook in the game, all because some university student didn't make the cut. Thanks for watching this Origins of Desert Treasure quest video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. I create old school RuneScape content, so if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out the other videos on my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next one.